Hey guys, welcome back. Today, let's talk about the movie Blade Runner 2049, and I want to focus on how did the production team created a wasteland aesthetics from different angles. Human has always had a pretty distinct understanding of death. We always have this idea of the end of the world looming around our existence as our environment changed, as our living conditions changed. How we perceive this apocalyptic ending has evolved as well. So in the beginning, we thought that apocalypse meant a great flood that is going to cover the earth and drown out all of the living things. And later on, as technology evolved, we believe that nuclear weapon is going to be what destroys us. And most recently, we think that it's going to happen from climate change and desertification. Interestingly, the movie used all three imageries to convey a wasteland, end of the world kind of feeling. So I want to break the video down into three different sections. The first one being Great Flood, the second one being nuclear weapon, and the last one being desertification. So today, let's get into the Great Flood and how the movie used it and how it intertwines with our human history, intertwines with our psyche. Our relationship with water has always been pretty complicated. We were all conceived in our mother's womb surrounded by water, so it's our birthplace. But once we were born into this world, we're no longer able to survive in water. And in fact, water is one of the most threatening things for us. A long time ago, humans in all parts of the world formed governments and cities and countries because we needed a collective way to defend ourselves against flooding, defend our land, our livelihood against water. So the fear of flooding has existed since the earliest days of our civilization. In China, we have the story of Great Yu. He is a person led everybody to build canals and build dams. In Judeo-Christianity traditions, we have Genesis flood narrative, where God let it rain for 40 days and nights and drowned out everything in the world. At the same time, just like our mother's womb, water signifies our birth, and our prehistoric stories usually center around a cultural hero who overcame water and rise above the occasion. So in the story of Great Yu, after his work, he gained the respect of all the gods and human alike, and he founded the first Chinese dynasty, the dynasty of Xia. And in the Bible story, after Noah built the ark to preserve the last hope of humanity, he re-emerged out of the flood and then led the effort to repopulate the earth. This raining and flooding imagery has also appeared at the end of both original Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. In the original movie, the story revolves around replicant Roy and his fellow replicants escaping their condition in the outer space and returning to the earth seeking for a better life. So even though they were stronger and smarter and more resilient than humans, they were only built to have 4 years of life. And by the time they showed up in the movie, when they arrived at Earth, they are already 3 years and 10 months old and approaching their death. Their whole goal is to get treated better, getting more respect, and getting a longer lifespan. However, it's proven that this is completely impossible, and not only that, they were also being chased and hunted by Deckard, the Blade Runner. In the final chase scene in the pouring rain, there are quite a few shots depicting Roy being almost godlike. One very memorable scene was how Roy was piercing his own hand using a nail, very similar to the imagery where Jesus was nailed on the cross. And in the final battle between Roy and Deckard, Roy proves that he's more compassionate and more human-like when he saved Deckard from a deadly fall. Then he had the single most memorable monologue in the movie, Tears in the Rain, before he died and released the dove from his hand. Very similar to how Noah released the dove to see if the flood has receded. Here, we all know that Roy is a hero. He's the one reflected on his mortality, then moved Deckard and us and propelled his kind to be treated more like human. Building on that, in 2049, towards the end of the movie, Kay went to rescue Deckard from Love, leading to Kay and Love fighting in the ocean against the Great Seawall. The scene depicts a small aircraft in the vast body of water, very similar to our imagery of Noah's Ark. Love ended up drowning to death, similar to how the old generation will be destroyed by water, while the new generation, Kay, will rise up against water and move on to a new era. After Kay ended up winning the fight, Deckard got a chance to meet his daughter, a human that is born from a replicant's body. This signifies a true update of what it means to be a human. This fear of water is also very prevalent in the world of art. Japanese artist group Art Unite Me had an installation in Mori Museum. This installation features a series of single sculptures in confined rooms, mimicking the swelling waves in the ocean. So Netflix also put up a documentary, 100 Feet Wave. It did a really good job capturing our fear against the water, especially when we see a small, tiny surfer risking their life gliding against a huge wave. I think this imagery is related to the aesthetics of the sublime. The concept of sublime was raised in the 17th century. It was being compared to beauty and picturesque. If you think beauty as being logical and respected like Roman temples, and picturesque being cute and very quaint, similar to English countryside, sublime is the kind of beauty that inspires fear within you and made you feel small and made you feel insignificant. And I believe our obsession with Titanic is also related to this sublime sensation that water inspires within us. Okay, that's my quick analysis of how the two movies use water as an image signifying apocalypse and rebirth. I hope you gained some insights from it. The next two episodes are going to be about nuclear weapon and climate change, so please stay tuned and I'll see you very soon.